Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea. What a week it's been. It was a holiday lengthened work week. It felt like 8 days a week trying to get through the news flow. Thank you particularly to our Washington team who basically are going 24/7 covering the first days. I feel like it's weeks, but okay, we're 4 weeks into the second Trump administration, and I just want a major shout out to everybody, Margaret Noonan and everybody down in Washington for all that they've done. And of course, they'll tirelessly be through the weekend. We'll have the German elections on Sunday. Maybe it's off the U.S. podcast radar. It should not be. It's actually a big deal, obviously, depending how it turns out. We'll have coverage for that Monday morning. What a joy today to speak to Robert Kaplan, Vice Chairman of Goldman Sachs, of course, always and forever with his Dallas Fed. We talked to him, of course, about Jerome Powell, Donald Trump, and Fed independence.
The president can jawbone and pressure, and that's not new. It may be more intense right now, and the Fed will do its job and should to try to the extent they can ignore that, right. Make decisions. The biggest threat to the Fed, I actually think sometimes, is not from outside. Then you have to be careful as a governor or a president. Don't try to say things right. publicly you think might go over better or worry about the pressure. Just do what you think is right. And as long as they manage themselves, right. I think they'll get through this in an independent way.
Robert Kaplan of Goldman Sachs and, of course, formerly with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. What a joy. We experimented once with Mark Gurman from L.A. at 5 a.m. It was not a successful experiment. So when he's in New York, it's important, and we were thrilled to have Mark Gurman with us today. Can you imagine being, in his case, the University of Michigan, and you've got degrees in information sciences, and you become a journalist, and you just work every day on sources. He is the definitive voice on Apple, and we are privileged that today, along with a chat on Apple and Tim Cook and the MacBook, Mark Gurman with a scoop.
They've moved the MacBook Pro, which is not their most popular machine, but a really hot seller and really important. It's what I use. It's what I think a lot of people here use, a lot of people in college and schools use. They've moved that to an annual upgrade cycle. Every November, like clockwork, you're getting a new MacBook Pro, just like you get a new iPhone every year. So that is a really big deal, and I think is really important. MacBook Air, that's the most popular Mac, okay? Last updated a year ago. Here's a scoop for your show. Apple's preparing to put the new MacBook Air M4 on sale in March, so next month, in just a few weeks from now. They've started preparations. They've started sending materials to their retail stores. They've ramped up production, and they're nearly ready to go on the M4, 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Air, their most popular machine, just in a few weeks from now.
Classic Mark Gurman there, looking out to the next thing I'm going to need to buy for the Keene household. Importantly, folks, we had a very serious conversation with Mark Gurman about what's rarely talked about in the media. He's been an angel on this, which is the chips. I don't understand really what they do. I can fake it, but I really don't know what I'm talking about. Mark Gurman does, and he makes clear that the chip technology of Apple is the reason they exist and why he is writing about them day after day with an optimistic tone forward. On your commute across the nation, on Sirius XM, on Apple CarPlay. Good morning, 92.9 FM in Boston. Surviving international hockey with a Canadian victory. Good morning, 11:30 in New York. I'm not sure if there's fees on congestion tax right now. I'm not sure if it's on or off. Good morning, 99.1 FM in Washington with all that's going on there. Talk about Sleepless in Washington. I think they should make a movie of that. We're on YouTube podcasts. This is Single Best Idea.